Hello, welcome to day 29 in this creating a PHP web framework, and this is the first day in a long time that we're going to be not focusing on documentation, and we're actually going to be doing some other stuff. Like the main focus of the video will be on another topic. So this topic is going to be how easy is it to remove external libraries. We discovered in the previous video, because the documentation finished pretty quickly in the previous one, that it wasn't that easy. We fixed it for the Google reCAPTCHA stuff, so you can easily just like take out the library and just disable the Google reCAPTCHA in one of the configuration files. So we want to do that for the other two external libraries, which is HybridAuth, which is for logging in using social media. We only use it for Facebook and Twitter at the moment. We can easily implement Yahoo. No, we only use Facebook and Google, sorry. You can easily implement Twitter, Yahoo, there's a bunch of other, like a ridiculous amount of login stuff or social media that you can use for logging in. So regarding the documentation side of it, it's not that we're finished, because the documentation will continuously be updated. It's just as we add a new feature, as we change things, as we discover new things about the framework, we'll document it as we go along, instead of documenting it once the framework was actually at a deployable level. Hence it had quite a lot of functionality, so that's the reason it took so long. But now whenever we do stuff, we'll just document it as we go along. And if there's something I missed that you think that needs to be documented, let me know and I will add it. Or feel free to create a request to, like a GitHub commit request, a push request, I think that's called, a push request, so you can actually contribute as well. So like I was saying, we was looking at the library side of things, and we got it working with Google reCAPTCHA. If you remove this folder, the reason we want to be able to do this is, as I explained in the previous video, if I get the overall framework size, it might be a tad smaller because we've got quite a few views, but those views don't take up that much space at all. The framework size is about 1.9 megabytes. If you look at just the library size, it is 1.5 megabytes. So imagine if you didn't want Google reCAPTCHA. So chances are, if you want some sort of login system, like a registration system, I'll recommend it. But maybe you didn't, maybe you don't want it, that's fine. Maybe you don't want HybridAuth, which is I think that's the biggest one out of the free libraries, because it has a shit ton of social media like platforms they support. And then maybe you don't want that. Maybe you don't want a login system at all, but you just want to use the framework because it's got a good structure, and you just want to be able to add features using the methods that we use. And maybe you're not even interested in the mailing side. Maybe you're looking just purely from, let's say, a blog perspective, and the blog perspective would be maybe the user can't log in, so you have your sort of own page or your own password that you can get in via. So you could get rid of all of these, and you would take the framework down to 0.4 meg. 1.5 megabyte isn't that much, but as we add more functionality, we're going to use more libraries, whether it's libraries we create or that we use that are open source, or even ones that we might even license in the future. Chances are we won't probably just be open source ones, free ones. This library folder is going to get bigger and bigger. So yeah, 0.4 meg, 1.5 meg, 1.9 meg, yeah, it's minor, but what if the library gets up to like 50 megabyte? You got a shit ton of functionality. If you can like get rid of most of it, and you can get away with only having 2.5 megabytes worth of libraries, that's great. And the way we're doing it is, you just remove the folder from here and just disable it in the config file. So if you did want it again, just make sure you download the correct version from GitHub, like the correct release, add the folder back in to here, just enable it in the configuration. So it's the process of taking it away and adding it is very simple. So that's the reason we're doing this. So we're on HybridAuth now. What I like to do is, for the HybridAuth, where is the configuration file? So social login. So let's just say if I set this to false, and if I were to move to trash, what would happen? That's basically the, okay, so this is messing up. So it's saying on init line 32, I think that's when it's including all the files. So line 32 require HybridAuth. So actually nope, better yet, in social login, don't care about doing this as true. What we want is an overall is enabled. So is enabled hybrid auth, and this would override all of these, and if this isn't enabled then you can't use the framework at all. So I'm going to say true for now, and that's called hybrid auth. Is social is enabled hybrid auth. So if I go to init, copy and paste this, and change this to social. I think it is enabled hybrid auth. Still messing up. That should be what should happen. And now if I change this to false, that error, not false, that error should disappear. Okay, that error disappeared. Got error to do with the class system. So on user line 52, so user line 52, where are we looking? So line 52. This is all of the hybrid auth stuff. So realistically, we can leave this one empty. Doesn't really matter as long as we don't access it. So what I'm gonna do is I need to get the, is it still in my buffer? Can I just paste it? Yes. So we essentially need, actually be better for copy and pasting instead of having to rechange all of it again. So if I get all of this, paste it into user, sorry, and okay, so that should just get rid of this problem. And now refresh. What's it moaning about? This, because we're already within the Sonar namespace. So that's good. Login, that's good. Say if I go into register, what happens if I click Google? On register page 124, actually I want to see if the hybrid auth is being used anywhere else in this page. Hybrid auth. Okay, returning it doesn't really matter what we return, because if it's empty, it's empty. If it has something, it has something. But the one we want to disable is hybrid auth, not hybrid. This one here. Only this one right here. Every other one we can leave it as it is, so that's fine. Okay, this shouldn't change anything at all. This should still be the same. And if I click on Google, yep, if I go to registration page, not sure if I even have to do something with this one. So if I go to 124, it says hybrid auth authenticate. At the end of the day, we're trying to use the hybrid auth functionality. If we, yeah, at the end of the day, that's the developer's fault. If they're trying to use the functionality and it's, well, it's not there, then the what's it called, the user, it's not the user's fault. The developer shouldn't try and use the functionality that they don't have the framework for. So if I were to just try and create a username, I'm going to put password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and if I just put a random email on the robot, go to log users, register. You've been registered, fantastic. Okay, there we are. Just activate this manually. Okay, so now we can actually log in. got the correct, so the username is this here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I'm gonna put 8. It was actually 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. And yeah, there we go. Okay, so that seems to be a-okay. So that's all good. So I'm actually going to bring this back in. I'm going to re-enable social login by going to the config file. Nope, not that one. I mean the actual config file. So I need to actually, I want to make sure that the audio is even being recorded. Would appear so. So I'm just going to tap on the mic. Sorry about this. Yep, that seems a-okay to me. I'm just going to actually move the mic a little closer. Again, sorry about this racket. Okay, so let's get back to it. And we was going to re-enable social. This disables all social login functionality. So now I'm gonna log out, make sure I can still log in using social media. I don't have an ID. Okay, that's fine. I'll test it afterwards with the ID stuff, but I'm sure it's a-okay. And the last thing we want to do is the Phpmailer stuff. So what would happen if I were to just move to trash and try and go to the home page? Okay, on the email file it's saying classes email.php. Realistically, shouldn't be able to use any of this. So require config.php, and now I just need to put an if statement around this to check if it's enabled. So if I go to init, grab this, and I don't have anything for mail client yet, so I'll add that in a second. This was in email.php. I'm going to enclose it around the entire thing, because at the end of the day, all of this is dependent on Phpmailer. May at a later date, or somebody from the community at a later date may implement essentially this using the built-in mail system. PHP, that's not very good. Phpmailer is a lot better. So I'm just going to stick with this for now. So I just want this indented. And I need to get the proper config, and I need to actually get rid of that as well. So the proper config, where would we put it? I can put it in website maybe, but I don't want it in website. I don't think any of these other ones really are worthy of it. So I'm going to create a new file, and this is going to be called email_config.php, and I'm just going to copy the database stuff into here to serve as a good foundation. And instead of this, I'm going to put email or mail. Email. Enabled is true. That's all we're doing for now. So if I go to email, change this to email, and is enabled, I believe. What did I put? Just enabled. Is enabled. And if we refresh, but I believe I set it to true, so if I set this to false now, boom, still works. Still should be able to log in. Your account needs to haven't activated that particular account. Obviously that's not going to work. And if I were to try and register, actually probably too long, that is. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. And this is going to be at ff .com, and if I were to try and register this, it should give me an error because so not mail not found, and that is because on the register page, go to register, we are using the mail functionality here somewhere. Where are we using it? Yeah, we're using it here. So if you're trying to use the mail functionality without having mail enabled, again, that's down to the developer to not use functionality from a library that they've removed. I think that's a pretty basic thing, so that's stuff that the developer needs to make sure that they're sorting out. Apart from that, seems all good, so I'm gonna bring it back in. I'm gonna re-enable it. So if I go to mail, or no, the email config, change this to true. And what I'm going to do is, because we've actually added a config file now. Okay. And in here, for the wiki, where is the wiki, we actually have a section for handling or showing you what to do with the config files, I believe. Overview, core folder, I believe. Configs. So we want to add this in here, so it's after the db config. So if I edit this page, again, this is still sort of stuff that I was talking about. We're going to do it as we go along, because it's probably take about a few minutes, but it's going to be a lot quicker than doing 5 or 10 different configuration files with a bunch of different views and a bunch of this and a bunch of that. Rather just do it as we go along and just change it as we need to. So let's just whack it into Sublime, change this to Markdown. Okay, so I need to get to the db config because alphabetically will come after. So all I realistically need is this. So name is social, email, and the config is called db underscore config, email underscore config, not db underscore config, and it's called social. Whether or not your website uses the Phpmailer system, the email system, which uses Phpmailer. If you are not using, why are there like multiple acquisition needs to be fixed. If you're not using the email system, then set it to false. And I'm actually going to scroll through it because some lines seem to be slightly messed up. Like, I don't know why this one has a semicolon, the others have a dot. They should all have a full stop. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, so far so good. Okay, and I believe I did make another change to the configuration file, and that was the security, the social configuration. So I added this hybrid auth. So under the is enabled. So if I go to social, get in there now, is enabled. And that was to do with hybrid auth. These are totals for the different social logins your website uses and the overall framework, the overall social library. Okay, so I can copy that into here now. Save page, and we should be all good. So if we go down, email, yep, that's all. Oh, put social. I don't know why I was putting social. Let me fix that. Email, save page. Okay, that will make sure it's all updated. Socials there, that's fine. For email though, should say email, that's all good now. If I go back to the home page of, or just the main page for the PHP web framework on GitHub, let's see what the timing is like. Got to make sure I'm not too long. 20 minutes. Good. So we've actually done that test now, because we've handled all three of these, so we can get rid of that. Test if libraries can easily be removed. Realistically, I need to add that into the wiki of how to remove libraries. Show all the pages. Getting started. I'm going to have a new page called, I'm going to duplicate that one essentially, but this one's going to be called removing external libraries. Actually, nope, I'm going to whack it into Sublime. Put Sublime here instead of switching back and forth so many times. I can easily do this or that. So, removing external libraries. So, removing external libraries. Any libraries not required can be removed using 2 easy steps. So step 1, disable library usage in framework. Step 2 is remove library from framework directory. So, no, not yet. So if I'm on here, let's just say if I stay, and I'm going to go to blog for example, so I essentially want how I did all of this stuff, the contents. And this is going to be, what were the frameworks? There were Google reCAPTCHA, disable, remove, reCAPTCHA, remove, Google reCAPTCHA, and the next one is hybrid auth, remove hybrid auth, remove hybrid auth, and the last one was Phpmailer. Remove Phpmailer, remove Phpmailer. okay. Keep forgetting that I'm not saving it in there. And we're gonna do essentially this. So this would be remove Google reCAPTCHA. This shows you the process of removing the Google reCAPTCHA library. So step one, disable library in framework. So open, it is core underscore configs, I believe, lowercase or uppercase everything. And was it just one underscore? Two underscore configs, and this was security. Yep, security. Actually, there should be a capital R. I'll leave it for now. Okay. Security underscore config.php. Change the following code to showing the following code so we can get rid of that, change the following, change the enabled property to false. The new code, the new config should look something like this. False. Did I just quit it? Oh damn it, it should still load up, yes. Thank God for Sublime being so awesome. I'm just gonna whack it in here actually, just to make sure it's looking the way I want it to. Save it. So if I click on this, I need to obviously edit it and put reCAPTCHA, put an A there. Save that bad boy. Click on this. Still not moving down. So why is this not moving down? So it's got hash, remove Google reCAPTCHA. So inspect. Seems to be no ID. Before you would just, add the ID automatically. edit, so take 2. Let's go to classes. That still goes down. Click on edit and have a look the way it's done in here. It's done pretty much identically. So remove Google reCAPTCHA. Weird why it isn't just bumping down. Removing external libraries. Obviously that won't do anything. That should go down. Oh, they put dashes in here, damn it. So if I copy this, go to edit. Yep, so click it. Goes down, disable library and framework, open. I actually want that to have 2 asterisks, which is bold in it. So that's going to be bold. Change the enable property to false. I'm going to put this in bold, this in bold, this in bold, and this in bold. The new config should look something like this. I'm happy with that. And now step 2. Step 2, new library from framework directory. Okay, so for this, the process is go to libs, and remove the folder titled Google reCAPTCHA. Make sure this is looking the way we want it to before we proceed. Save page. So remove library from framework directory, go to libs and remove the folder titled Google reCAPTCHA. Go to libs folder. Okay, that's fine. I need to essentially do the same for hybrid auth. So this will now be remove. Should have just got the hybrid auth part. So hybrid auth, this shows the process of removing the hybrid auth library, disable library and framework, open. This is social. Change the, I believe it is enabled. Is enabled. Is enabled, and if I were to just whack this into here, change what I need to change, I'm only going to show the enabled part. New config should look something like this. False. go to list folder and remove the folder titled hybrid auth. And now need to do something pretty similar for removing Phpmailer. So remove Phpmailer. This shows you the process of removing the Phpmailer library. Save library framework, and this is email config. Change these property is enabled property to false, and in email I should say, I can just get this, put this here, put it here, change this to false, go to the libs folder, remove the folder titled PHP. I believe this is the case that has been used. Phpmailer, fantastic. Copy, edit, paste. Remove hybrid auth and remove Phpmailer. So there we go. So that just shows you the process of removing the frameworks. So again, I just want to always confirm what the time situation is. 36 minutes. Okay, that's good. We have now done the test if libraries can be removed and created the documentation. So the next step was properly implement error pages for stuff like 404. You want to make sure these are in a proper good order. That's a pretty high priority. Set up file, search engine, database backup tool, theme class, method for easily loading fonts, versioning for images, before you validate it built in. That's something I'm really excited to try and get in there. I don't know how, but I really want that in there. Coding standards for the framework. That needs to be done, definitely. So properly implement error pages for stuff like 404. Okay, let's handle that now. So if you were to go to like home and type in register some random characters, it will just take you to the home page. That's what that does. But did I make any notes on here? I think I may have done. Provide the user with a config option to enable this. Automatically call the appropriate error number. If file doesn't exist for error number, then call error.php. But if, for example, you were to, let's say in your one of your views, like the index one, where you click on, so we have links to the login page. What if we try and, like, the developer tries to direct you to page that doesn't exist, has been renamed, or for some reason it's not the same name. Let me move Sublime over. What happens then? Click it. I can't exactly. Is that how you trigger the 404? I'm trying to figure it out now. Just give me a second. So if I go to error, no, not error. It's in here somewhere. So close down core. Close that down. It is in here somewhere, and I believe it's in, nope, it's not in the model. It's definitely not a view. Controller perhaps? Nope, definitely not a controller either. App. Controller, no, init. Where did I handle this? Core. Config. No, it wouldn't be a config. Okay, public errors 404 is here, but where was the process of redirecting the user to the 404? Redirect. Okay, so if location, if there is a location, great. If the location is a numeric location, going to check if it's 404. So by that logic, if we were to go back to the login view, well, the view's gone, they're over here. Now that's the classes, app, close that down, views, and if I open up login, close some of this other stuff down, it's just getting in the way. If I open up login, no, I mean index, if I were to change that to 404, why is it not handled in here at all? Maybe core, so controller, so if I went to the home controller, and if I were to put 404 here, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to activate the 404 thing. What if I were to put 404 here? Nope, that's not it. So if we go back to redirection, so in classes, we'll go back to path. So when we, no, not in path, redirect. It was during the redirect I only did this. So where are we using a redirect? I believe on a login page or a registration page. Redirect. So if I were to put is logged in, so I'm not logged in on the registration page. If I'm not logged in, 404, and this is the add user details. Add user details. Okay, this is within the home section. So home. Oops, that page can't be found. So that triggered it. Just trying to figure out how we would even use this. So if you were to refresh now, just take you to the home page. So when we do the redirect stuff, where do we handle, let's say me put in some sort of incorrect paging to take you to the home page. If file exists, assuming if the file exists, method exists, okay, let's put an else here. So if method doesn't exist, $this method essentially do the same, but instead of setting it to the URL, I'm going to set it to 404. 404, save that. So if the method doesn't exist, so what if we do it this way instead? So if else change this to 404, change this to 404, and on set, refresh. So if this doesn't exist, now that tried to take us to 404.php. So let's just get rid of this for now. Again, that's only with the redirect. So we need to abstract out the functionality, checking the time. So let me undo all of this. So I think we need to be able to give the developer the option to have this method, current way of doing things, where the user types in an incorrect address or incorrect page section, or the developer tries to have a path to an incorrect page or redirects to an incorrect page. They can either just go to the home page, or if sort of like the view section, is it, because we got views, like the view folder is correct, you'll just go to the home page of that view or the home page in general. But if you disable that feature or enable it, depending on how you look at it, and we'll decide about that, it gives you a 404 if it does not exist. So that way we have both options. You might want a 404 instead, because I know a lot of websites you try and go to an incorrect page. I can't remember how we do it on Sonar Learning, honestly. What's Sonar Learning / I'll try and type that in. Yeah, it says error code 404 not found. That's the way we've handled it. What happens if you go into google.co.uk? 404. So yeah, let's try Facebook. Page not found. Try Twitter. Page not found. So they're all doing essentially something very similar right there. 1 second, I've got a message, just need to check this out. Okay, so that redirect, we can leave that functionality in there if you want to be able to add more, different error codes. So you can just put the number 404 and it just redirects to that. But how about in here? What do we do in here? You want to go back to the Google not found page. google.co.uk / I wanted to inspect this page, see how much code they actually have in here. Not a lot, as I expected. If I go to, yeah, they got Jackal files naturally, because there might be a problem trying to link to some other file, and they got an error as well. Okay, that's fine. So we're happy with keeping the files separate, but if it doesn't exist, we don't want, I was thinking we could have a folder within the views called errors, but that means the user could get to that errors folder. So if we go to Facebook again, Twitter again, Reddit, yeah, you can't, from what I can see, you can't access it or easily access this page not found unless you put a page that's not found. Actually, I wonder if there's a page called S. There probably is. I'm guessing there is. No? Apparently not. When you accidentally get put into a Battlefield 1 trailer. Okie dokie. So what to do, how to figure this out. I'm gonna make a note on, do we have a notes page anymore still? Can't remember. Yep, we still do. Working on error pages for events like 404, page not found, page not found. Okay, so I'm actually going to end the video here. It's been about 50 minutes. Okay, that's fine. I'll commit the code that I have now. Make sure I got the latest one from GitHub. Sync. Boom, that's synced. Go to PHP framework, copy the contents of this. Now in here, let's replace the contents. So in code, that just shut down. I don't know what the hell just happened then. I don't want to view it on GitHub. Just want to open in Finder. Go to code, select, delete, paste, and there's 12 uncommitted changes. So in the index file, I really should not have this change in there. So if I go to index, register, yeah, from the previous video there was some comments that I forgot to commit or save, then commit. Okay, overall I'm very happy with the status of all of this. So day 29, commit, removing easily allowing external libraries from being removed. Yep, that's it really. Even though we worked on other stuff, that's it for the code that we're committing. So sync. Okie dokie, so that's it for day 29 of creating this PHP web framework. If you've got any suggestions for the code, the architecture, documentation, anything like that, feel free, because this is a project by the community for the community. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. And as usual, thank you for watching, and I will see you in day 30.